Good morning, I'm Chris Swift. Welcome to Market Day Report. It's Memorial Day and a time to remember our veterans that have gone before us and to celebrate the freedoms that we all enjoy because of their services. So welcome to the show this morning. We've got a lot of reversals that have turned around this morning from yesterday's really weak export numbers that drove the markets down. This morning I look up and maybe some of the weather is what's causing the market movement this morning. But let's take a look at our corn market to start off with and see how we wrapped up the overnight session there. So in our overnight session, let's see, up 4 on the July, 594 3/4 with a 96 1/4 high. December new crop corn up 11 1/2, 527 1/2 with 28 1/2 the high. Come over to the soybean market, and this morning we are trading higher in the soybeans. July beans up 12, 13.36 even, with November up 13 1/2, 11.85 3/4. And we'll take a quick look here at Chicago wheat. Chicago wheat this morning up 8 1/4 on the July, 612 1/2. December wheat up 8 3/4, 644 3/4. Going over to the Kansas City hard red winter wheat, where they have had such a horrible time this year and now, but we were looking at July up 10 1/2 at 828 1/2. December wheat up 8 3/4 at 815 1/4. And we'll wrap it off with our spring wheat this morning up 12 even, 817 1/2 on the July. December up 11 1/4 at 827 even. I'd like to take a moment to invite our guest this morning, Brian Hoops from Midwest Market Solutions. Good morning, Brian. How are you this morning?
Hey, good morning, Chris. It's good to talk with you. How are you doing?
I am very well, sir. It's Memorial Day weekend and looking forward to it, and have great reversal this morning from yesterday's kind of more dismal trade from the exports. Can you pick out anything really specific this morning that might have reversed these markets overnight?
Yeah, everybody's mood that I've talked with so far is much improved as we have pretty good weather, growing conditions, but yet higher prices are starting to take hold here. December corn took out its previous highs overnight for the move here, and hopefully we can continue to build on that ahead of a 3-day weekend with no trade Sunday night, no trade Monday until Monday evening. So, the crop condition ratings, first ones of the year for corn, will be released Tuesday afternoon, and they should be relatively high. But the trade's already looking ahead to some of these weather forecasts that have maybe a little bit more drier weather than what was forecast yesterday or earlier in the week. And certainly that is going to be detrimental to yields because we don't have much subsoil moisture to draw off of. If temperatures get really hot, these price movements could be very explosive because the funds are holding some large net short positions. So we're going into a 3-day weekend when forecasts are turning drier. The dollar is weaker, which is helping out crude oil, the metals, some of these outside markets move higher as well. So it's it's kind of an encouraging sign. And I think when we come back Monday night, we're going to look at these weather forecasts real closely. And if they push the dryness past the June 7th timeframe where we're looking at right now, if we're drier into the middle of June, I think we're going to take another leg higher in corn and soybeans.
That's interesting. Well, I know that the July contract, the old crop, always is going to be working off of last year's shorter market or shorter crop that we had from there. And we noticed that ethanol production was, the draw on it was a little bit steep this week. So maybe we're seeing some of that take place too in the ethanol market for some of this new demand here that we've got. Brian, I certainly do appreciate you coming on. Hang on just a second. We're going to take a break. We're going to look at our livestock markets, and we'll come back with Brian Hoops out of Springfield, Missouri. Hang out tight with us. Good morning. We're back with you now. We'll take a look at yesterday's livestock close, and then we'll get back with Brian here for just a second and see how we're going to open this morning. June fats yesterday up $1.20 at 167.30. The August up 65 at 164.77, and the October fats up 65 at 169.02. Feeder cattle market was a little bit higher again yesterday, and the feeder cattle index set new highs yesterday as well. August futures up 17 at 234.70, September up 45 at 238.07, and October up 47 at 240.05. Our hog market yesterday kind of hit the skids just a little bit. June down 215, 77 at 65. July down 357 at 77 and a quarter, and August down 345 at 76.95. Those are all now below the index, with this trading a positive basis. So I'd like to come back to Brian Hoops for just a second and talk to him before we go in the livestock market here. Brian, it's the start of the summertime. Are you seeing anything really specific out there that we should note that in the beef market?
Well, we're getting into the summer grilling season, so there'll be a little bit more consumer demand, kind of starting with this Memorial Day holiday and extending into the summer months. Next week's cash markets expected to be fully steady, if not higher. Once again, we were looking for higher trade this week, and we received that as the numbers continue to be really tight. Packer margins are slipping just a little bit, but as we go into Monday's holiday, they should improve. We saw cutouts higher last night. I think we'll probably see them firm up today and again early part of next week with that holiday. But with the Packers bidding out a week for a full kill schedule, we would expect cash to be stronger once again. Now, corn certainly higher overnight, expected to weigh on feeder cattle, and I think with the cash trade and pretty much all the fundamentals wrapped up for the week in the live cattle market, we're going to see some weakness in live cattle as well. But again, that's probably a buying opportunity. You get down into support. We're going to take another run, I think, higher in the cash markets in the upcoming weeks. So look for weakness here to be bought by some of the professionals in the trade. All
right, good deal. Well, Brian, you don't know how much I appreciate you coming on this morning and sharing with us this information and getting our farmers and ranchers out there the things that they need to be able to make those real informed decisions. So Brian Hoops with Midwest Market. We certainly do appreciate that, Brian. Hope you have a great morning.